Okay, so how many of you are familiar with the 6 personal perspectives? Okay, heard of them, maybe even know 1 or 2. Okay, so Gary Keller back in 2005, when he was doing research for the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. How many of you have that book?
Yes.
How many of you read it? How many of you read it more than once? More than twice? More than 3? Okay. If you haven't read it, do you know that you are with the company that literally wrote a manual on how to build a real estate business to make $1 million a year selling real estate? So if you haven't read it, why? But I digress. When Gary was collecting all of that evidence, all of that research, he discovered that these high producers, remember, he wasn't just talking to Keller Williams agents, he was talking to people from all brokerages. He realized that high achievers all kind of had the same qualities. And so he asked himself a question: what is it that differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't seem to accomplish as much? And he got an answer to that. High achievers had 3 qualities. Any guesses what those 3 qualities were? Don't be shy. We already did an icebreaker. Everybody knows each other now. No shyness. Think of a high achieving person. What's the characteristic they have? Good communication. Okay, good communication skills. Discipline. Consistency. Tenacity. Perseverance. I'm going to call all those mindset. Guys, real estate, if it's 100%, 10% is skill. Congratulations, you are in an industry where you only need 10% skill. The other 90%, no one's going to come and get you and make you get out of bed. No one's going to come and get you and make you stop feeling sorry for yourself because someone told you no. No one's going to be able to get in your head and stop telling you the things that we tell ourselves. I'm bothering people. They don't want to hear from me. I'm too new. I've said all those things. Guess what? It's all lies. But until you start to offset the negative things you tell yourself, those 10% skills don't matter. Right? So he discovered that high achievers all have similar mindset. They have a similar approach to life. What approach do you think they have? Positive and I am scared. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm probably going to fail. I probably have all these bad habits, but I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to have the discipline. And they have the same attitude. I can do it. I will do it. If it's all going to rest on me, I'm not going to let myself down. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to break through that ceiling. Side note, if you guys aren't, and Amber Rutherford is the one who kind of opened my eyes to this. If you guys aren't interviewing top agents that you want to be like, and ask them questions and ask them how they failed and ask them if you could go back to your first year, what could you tell yourself? You could be missing an opportunity. And not just when you're new, but when you want to get to that next level. Okay, I'm a capper. What's my next level? Are you talking to people at that next level? So I've been doing that with team leaders. And calling team leader, I look up the list. I pull up from KW and I call the number 1 and number 2 team leader every month. And I say, how did you add 30 agents to your office this month? Tell me about your team. What does your calendar look like? Because I want to model myself and my things after what those top team leaders are doing, right? So as agents, shouldn't we do the same? And goodness gracious, wouldn't you stand out as like a go-getter and like, wow, that person's really like going after it, and man, you know, I've got these couple of leads I don't want to work. You never know what kind of opportunities would bestow you in getting outside of your comfort zone and just trying to better yourself, right? So there are 6 personal perspectives that he created based on this research. The first one is committing to self-mastery. Anyone want to take a stab what that is? Committing to mastering yourself. What you're good at, what your weaknesses are, and learning to work with both of them. No one has entered this office or this industry and has just been like, I am the 100% perfect real estate agent. No. In fact, if you know top agents, they're a mess. They're a mess. Right? However, the best know what they're good at, know what they're bad at, and don't get hung up on it. They work with both of it. 2 is committing to the 80-20 principle. Have any of you ever heard of the 80-20 principle? Pareto, the Italian economist, was at university and discovered that 80% of the land was owned by 20% of the people. And so he started to analyze where else that principle showed up. And it turns out it shows up in a lot of places. With regards to real estate, 20% of what you do is going to earn you 80% of your income. I coach and consult with a lot of real estate agents, and they tend to do the same things. And I was one of them. I tend to gravitate towards things that make me comfortable. I'm going to make a Facebook post today. I'm going to put my card at the nail salon. I'm going to tell just my family that I'm in real estate. I'm not going to call anybody because I'm too new. I'll do that in a month or so. Like, if you're smiling or you're feeling like I'm talking to you, I'm not talking to you. If you feel like I'm talking to you, maybe it's because I am. And by the way, I've done all those things, right? So what we're doing is we're focusing on the 80%. We're focusing on the things that aren't making us money. We're focusing on the things that aren't going to launch us into growth. And so when I move from E to P, which is the next one, that means I'm going to stop doing what's easy or entrepreneurial, what comes naturally to me. And don't get me wrong, there are people that come in and do what's easy and like knock it out of the park. There will come a time where that doesn't work anymore, or you've maxed out the amount of easy or entrepreneurial. And so from there, you have to get purposeful. So some of you might be in this class today because what you're doing naturally with open houses has stopped working, or you haven't seen any results at all when you've done open houses. And so it's about getting focused and becoming more purposeful. And so that's the one we're gonna stop on today. How do I get more purposeful? Focus. How many of you have written goals? Okay. How many of you check those written goals weekly? Okay. How many of you calculate year to date where you are with percentage wise to that goal and check it weekly and have someone check it for you? Okay, so that's a level of focus and written goals, right? Two, Find strategic options. That's why you're here. How can this be done? Are there better ways to do it? Number 3, find models to follow. Everything I am sharing with you, I copied from someone else. Seriously. Everything I did in my business, I copied from somebody else. The benefit was that I was with the largest real estate brokerage that just shares everything. So it made it really easy to copy. I didn't have to go out and recreate it. I didn't want to recreate it because what I had created wasn't working at a really high level. I wanted to copy what someone else was doing, and that was proven. Number 4, install systems. I'm going to give you both of these today. And the last way to move from E to P is everyone's favorite. Bring in accountability. It's not everyone's favorite word. We need accountability. My favorite is when people say, oh, I'm pretty accountable to myself. Yes, so am I. That's why I'm 50 pounds overweight. Because I judge everybody else on their actions, but I judge myself on my intentions. Have you ever done that? Oh, you know what? I meant to go to the gym today, but gosh darn it, it's raining and my shoes will get slippery and then I'll get it in my car. So I can't do that. I'll do it tomorrow. But I brought my clothes. I intended to do well. That's not accountability. Accountability is having to show up not only for yourself, but to somebody else. There's something about putting it out in the universe. There's something about asking someone to check in on that and hold you to it. And if necessary, possibly even assign some sort of punishment. And oh, reward, I get it. But does everyone in here want to make a lot of money selling real estate? Has everybody in here hit their financial goal yet? But that's a reward. That's a good. We're all running towards that, right? Or are we running from the pain of maybe doing things at a more intense level? Are we running from the pain of rejection? I heard an amazing thing that kind of broke my heart, but also really stuck in my head. It's a question. You ready? What are you saying no to at the expense of saying no to your family as well? Meaning, when we don't want to be embarrassed by making that call, or we don't want to talk to our friends and family who already love us, or we don't want to call our past customers, or we don't want to increase the number of people we're talking to every week, we're saying no to that, but we're also saying no to our family and our goals and our financial dreams. Would any of you knowingly tell your family, nope? Nope, we can't go on that vacation because I didn't do my job. Nope, we can't tour Europe next summer because I didn't hit my goals because I was scared of someone telling me no. That sounds like a really lame excuse to me, right? So when you think of it like that, all right. So let's take a look at lead gen. I told you it wasn't about open houses today. I haven't lied so far. All right. Is anyone else visual? I'm visual. Okay. This is the time you meet someone. It's really gorgeous. And this is the time they close. Right? This is a lead. What's all this? opportunity, follow up, work. Yeah. What we tend to do is we tend to think that we meet somebody and then we're gonna get paid. 85% of your database, write this down, 85/15. 85% of your database is not going to buy or sell a house this year. But around 15% will. We tend to only look for this when we're talking to people. We tend to look, where's the closest one here? But the stats tell us 85% of people are somewhere on this timeline. They're somewhere back here. So I say that to say open houses are a database game. When you get them in here, you have fun. As long as you have follow-up and you build relationship throughout the lifespan. 36% of our country, it's between 35 and 40, it fluctuates. 35 to 40% of our country will always be renters. Which means you've got 65% of the population to get in here. If you don't get them in here and you don't follow up with them, you don't get this. Maybe you're something like me. I had kind of a slot machine mentality where every time I talked to somebody, I believed I had the conversation and they were going to be a buyer or seller with like a pre-approval, like waving it in their hand. Every time I pulled the slot, I thought I was going to hit jackpot. It didn't matter if it was one person a day. And so when that didn't happen, what happened to my mindset? Going downhill. Nobody wants to buy. Nobody wants to sell. Open houses don't work. None of them were ready. Well, we just said 85% of the people are probably not going to buy this year. But guess what? Future Erica, future Deborah, future Trish, they need paychecks too. It's not about finding necessarily the right now. It's about collecting as many and building relationships with as many so that now and future Erica, future Chris, future Mike have paychecks as well. Everybody you meet at the open house is going to fall into one of 4 buckets. They are going to be a now seller, a now buyer, a future seller, or a future buyer. Do you look at the people you meet like that? Do you think of the timeline and where they are along this timeline and realize that anyone you add to your database is a win? Because the odds say they're going to be on this timeline. Now, are you going to follow up with them once, maybe send them an email and they don't respond right away, so I throw them out of my database? It's not about my timeline, it's about theirs. It's a database game. Get them in your database. Okay? Questions about that? All right, let's take a look at some myth understandings. I sound like what's his name? Myth understandings.
Gary Schiller.
No, who's the boxer with the list? Mike Tyson. That's who I sound like. Mike Tyson. Myth understandings. All right, here we go. Maybe you're like me and you've thought some of these. So did you know the first open house was held in 1910? Since then, real estate agents all over the world have continued to host them as a way to sell their listings and meet future buyers and sellers. According to the 2021 Home Buyer and Seller Report, authored by the NAR, 53% of all home buyers source info about a property at an open house. Due to the low cost, hosting an open house can provide you with one of the highest returns on investment compared to all real estate lead gen. And so we're going to take a look at some models and systems around that. Whoops. All right. First myth understanding. Buyers who come to open houses are not ready to buy. It's true. Many of them are not ready now. But almost everyone who comes to an open house will transact. Some are now buyers, others could be your future business if you nurture that lead. Number two, everyone just looks at houses online. So open houses are a waste of time. According to NAR, between 21 and 22, 41% of buyers reported using open houses as a source of info, and 28% of buyers reported using open houses frequently to occasionally for info during their home search. Those numbers are probably a little low. Why? What was going on in 21? There was a little bit of a pandemic going on, right? Buyers who come to open houses already have an agent. The reality is, on average, buyers search for homes for 3 weeks before contacting an agent. For some buyers, their first step is attending an open house, not contacting an agent, which is your opportunity to become their agent. We'll talk about how to come back when somebody says that too. Open houses only work if you do them on the weekend. False. The right time and day for an open house can vary. An open house for a listing in a retirement community with a golf course may get better traffic on a weekday. 4 to 6 hours after the first tee time than it will on a weekend. An evening open house during the week may be perfect in an area where many employees require weekend shifts. Employers, excuse me. There is no one day or time that is universal for open houses. Choose what is right for your market and the specific listing. You know, you can get creative. I did one for a listing that was near an elementary school, and I did it on Wednesday, early release day. The day before, went up, talked to the principal. She allowed me to walk through the car line. You know, the moms get there like 4 hours early and read a book. And she let me pass out flyers. And then the next day I had treats for kids and all that stuff. You get to be creative. If you have a listing that is vacant, why aren't you holding the house open all day long? There was a little company that did that called Open Door. You could get in anytime you wanted, right? The main reason to have an open house is to sell that listing. The reality is open houses are a lead generation tool. Well-executed prospecting and marketing for an open house will bring in buyer leads and attract neighbors who become curious about selling. Questions or comments? Few more here. Open houses only attract nosy neighbors. Reality is open houses attract several groups of people. First-time home buyers who are trying to figure out their neighborhood, other agents who want to see if a home meets the criteria, neighbors who could become future listings, and looky-loos who may feel like a waste of time. But remember, most curiosity seekers eventually transact real estate with some agent, and that agent could be you. I'm only doing lead gen on weekends if I spend my time hosting open houses. The reality is, and this is what we're going to focus on, a successful prospecting and marketing strategy for an open house begins well before the weekend. If you're just going to put a sign in the yard and hop in the house, stay home and watch football or play in the pool. Okay? I don't need to do an open house if I do a broker open, or I don't need to do a broker open if I can do a public open house. The reality is hold a broker open before the public open house to help limit the number of agents attending your public open house so you can focus your attention on the public. Plus, you can also get feedback on what they think of the price, the value of that, all that stuff. Okay. All right. Questions about the myth understandings? Any other ones on there that you didn't see, that you think, that you tell yourself about open house?
Well, just another thing about the neighbors coming in is they may know somebody who wants to live in the neighborhood, or they may want somebody that they know to move into the neighborhood, a friend or family member.
Yep. You know, they've learned, nosy neighbors have learned if they call themselves a nosy neighbor, most agents go, oh, okay, well, take a look around and let me know if you need anything. And they've learned that that disarms agents. So why aren't we embracing that? When they come in, oh, I'm just a nosy neighbor. I love nosy neighbors. They sell my listings. Where do you live? How's your house compared to this one? You like their furniture? Is it better than yours? Is yours better than theirs? Like, embrace them being nosy because you've got a seller in your house. They might be nosy, but they're comparing their house to this house. And if they feel comfortable with you, you could be the one to listen, right? But if you just stand in the corner and go, oh, that's salesy. Okay. All right, let's take a look at our 7-day system. This is by far not the only thing you would need to do. This is what I did, and I copied it. Sorry, honey. I copied it from Chris Suarez. Anyone know who Chris Suarez is? He has been with KW for many years. He runs the expansion team, starts with an X. Okay. So I literally, I literally found him in Connect. And I found I'm dating myself here. I think it was a 2015 family reunion. Guys, they didn't even have video. It was an audio recording. It was an audio recording of him doing his family reunion breakout session called Blow the Roof Off Open Houses. Very, very clever. Blow the roof off of open houses. And I listened to that audio. I sound like a fossil. Okay, listen to that audio and I went, huh, this guy might be onto something. So I just copied him. All right. So you got that right. Lead gen for an open house should start 7 days before. 7 days before. So if that's a bad habit to break, make note. Okay. So day one, I selected an open house. I added that paid Facebook ad. They didn't have when I started the system. Okay. Run a paid Facebook ad. I think you can literally, the least you can run is like $1 a day. You're talking $7. Don't buy the cookies and the water and brand the cupcakes and stuff, y'all. First of all, at $20 a pop, that $20 once is fine. When you're doing 2 and 3 a week, like that adds up real quick if you're not making the kind of money yet you want to make. So cut out the junk because you eat it anyway. Anyone else eat their own open house snacks or just me? Yeah. Right. And then you buy the ones you don't like thinking that you won't eat them. No, because if you're bored enough, you'll eat the bad ones too. Don't do it. Put it instead on marketing. And go ahead and create your marketing materials. Now, I did ask you to bring your laptop because we're going to make one. Okay. And we're going to show you how easy it is in Command. I made one today in 5 minutes. I made 6 today in 5 minutes. Just kidding. Okay. So we're going to do that. That's day one. That's your flyer, your Facebook ad, your social media posts. You literally in 5 minutes, I created 6 social media posts. So you could literally do 1 a day. Now is any of that one of your 5 jobs? Who knows what their 5 jobs are in real estate? I was like, if some of y'all don't speak up. Lead gen. Lead follow-up, good. What's your 3rd job?
Right.
Scripts and role play, go on appointments,
And then negotiate contract.
write and negotiate contracts. So we talked about 80-20 principle. This is your 20%. If you spend 80% of your day focusing on one of these areas, you are going to be making money. And if you want to do the 20% of the 20%, if you don't have any transactions going on, you don't have any appointments or anything to negotiate, so now you really only have 3 jobs to spend 80% of your day doing. 4. You get to do it any of the 80 hours per week you want. So day 1, is any of that one of your 5 jobs? Nope. None of that is lead gen, none of that is follow-up. That's where a lot of agents get confused. They spend all day making marketing or running an ad or picking an open house, looking at stats, and they call it work. Nope. I mean, you need to do it for the open house, but it's not earning you any money doing that. Okay? That stinks, right? Because it's so comfy to do. That's fun stuff to do. Maybe for some of us. Day 2, post online, circle prospect, mail invites. I wrote there 20 contacts. This system is how to talk to 100 people before you walk in the door. Because once you get in the door, you are a fish in an aquarium. You are stuck. You can't do anything about it. So you have to control and make sure you do what you can control, which is how many people you talk to before you go in the open house, leveraging that open house. So when we talk about post online, notice it says post online every day from now until day 7. What are some ideas of ways to get engagement around your open house? Let me give you a don't tip. Don't share the link from the MLS. Or don't make that the only thing you share. Right, Chris?
Right.
Why?
Did you give them too much information? About the,
Well, it has to do with the algorithm. Anything that you post, like don't post articles. Anything you post like that that takes it away to Facebook, you get shoved down. Your engagement is low. Facebook doesn't want you to share an article about the spring cleaning tips, like, because it takes them away from Facebook. Take the pictures out of the listing. Take the features out of the listing. You can DM people the link if they're interested, but don't make that the main focus. So some ideas for posting online. What do you guys see when people are posting about their open houses? What makes you pause and look at it?
people take videos of themselves talking about their listing.
Videos talking about it. I hate the way I look and sound. Everybody does. We just get to get over ourselves. What else?
Information on the community or the neighborhood.
Info on the community and the neighborhood. Guess the price. You can announce the winner at the open house, doing a live whatever. What else?
We talk about what's around it. So like if you're really close to the beach, going down to the beach that's close by or highlighting that in some way. Or if you're close to somewhere like Mercado where a lot of people like to go hang out, talking about that, listening about that.
Yep. So adding stuff that's not just how many beds, how many baths, come see me.
So my question is, in connection with personal pages versus business pages, which page are you posting? And do you do both and share? How do they recommend that?
I am by no means a social media guru, and what I notice most of our agents do is most of them have it from their personal page. Your personal page is not fully personal and it's not fully business. What people don't want to do is have you invite them to like their business page, and then you're sharing your business page to your personal page. So now they see your business page, your personal page, sharing the business page. Make sense? Yeah.
It's actually a Facebook violation. Post something about a business on a personal page.
Yeah.
It's a Facebook. What it does, it gives them the right to pull it down.
Yeah.
Where if you post something business on the business page, they can't. Well, it's technically touch it. If you post a business, that's why they say to do, a business in person.
And isn't it something when you're doing the Facebook ads, it has to go to a business page?
Yes.
The ads has to go through a business page. Yep. So I've never heard anybody talk about
Yeah,
taking it down, so I don't.
They're not gonna do it.
They
Maybe.
could.
Facebook's not looking at it. Facebook.
Yeah.
What I've noticed is most people in our office do all of it primarily on their personal page.
Yeah.
And then they have a business page to have a presence, and then if they choose to run ads, that's just kind of why they have it. It's just kind of like a placeholder type thing. Like that's not their main page, that's not what they mainly focus on. It's what I picked up on. Being nosy.
No, that's good, because I was always told, put it on the business page and then share it to the person. It's like, well, I kind of invited the same people to both people.
Exactly.
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 The only thing that's hard about that is we interact so much on the social page, not the business page.
Right.
So your connections aren't on your business page, aren't in the personal.
Yeah. Chris, any thoughts on that?
I have a business page, but it's a lot of people that I don't personally know, so I don't mind sharing stuff on both because my private page is mostly friends and family and some customers, but the business page is thousands of people I don't know. So it's hard, and it's a hard topic though.
Yeah, but you do a lot of your social media on your personal page. You talk about most of your stuff on your personal page, is what I've noticed for me personally. And then you do.
In our stalking.
It's
Yeah.
different though too, because I have different accounts, like Facebook's one of them, but my primary posting and marketing is more on Instagram. Because that's a whole nother set of people that I, again, don't know, that I've just built up these pages over the years that they all kind of serve their own purpose. You just gotta know.
Giveaways, things like that to get people to look at it. Which is your favorite room? Right, and posting 4 pictures of the house. What's your favorite things? Asking questions of people to try to get them to answer and respond. And when people comment back. It's etiquette. Right, so always acknowledging it and, liking it or hearting it and then commenting. Any other ideas for online? Yeah.
I just actually have a question about liking and hearting. What does it really mean? I mean,
Like, love.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so,
like is like cool and heart is like, I love this.
okay,
Now you're gonna hear my voice
So-
every
so
time
there's-
you see it.
so there's like different levels of acknowledgement of what you're posting, right?
Yeah.
People can just say, oh, I saw it, I think it's kind of cool. Or I saw it, I think I love it, or they actually make a comment,
Yeah.
right?
I tend to love everything. That's the kind of person I am. I tend to heart everything.
Okay,
And then some people just tend to just like everything. I don't think there's a certain,
a symbolic difference or anything like that?
no, I mean,
It's kind of like and then make a comment to personalize it a little.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I sent a message to someone and I said to them, oh, I'm sorry to hear that you're in pain and you're gonna have surgery and your dog is dying. I just want you to know, I'm here and if you need anything, and they sent a thumbs up. And I was like, okay. I guess that covers it.
Well, the thumbs up I hate.
Yeah,
Thumbs up to me has a different meaning, like a not nice thing. I don't know.
okay, okay.
The actual emoji of the thumbs.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
that's just me.
yeah, but I thought, isn't thumbs up on Facebook a like?
Yeah.
Isn't that, okay, so.
Yeah, yeah.
I just thought maybe, they'd say, oh, well, I'm not actually dying or something, just like,
Okay.
okay. I guess that's good.
So circle prospecting, what is that?
Calling.
Calling, yep, calling. So typically it's around the open house, so there are, I don't know about you guys, but eventually I ran out of people to call that I knew and who knew me and loved me and liked me, and I knew it was time that I had to expand because they would say, Erica, we still don't know anybody. Like, you just called us 3 days ago. And I'd be like, sorry. Sorry. So I decided I had to keep adding more people and talking to more people and adding them to my database, right? So I got Vulcan 7. Now, Vulcan 7, there are multiple programs. There's Espresso Agent, there's Red X, there's Vulcan 7, there's Mojo. There's a lot. Varying degrees of cost, varying degrees of accuracy. Back then, Vulcan 7 was only like $200 a month. Now I think it's 400 a month. I think they're also the most accurate though. Right? And then you've got your, I got Espresso Agent for 30 days and I think it was $60. And it was like thousands of names.
Since we're talking about that, can I throw a question out there?
Yeah.
Like if we would bring in 5 of the Keller Williams top 5 selling agents
Mhm.
and ask them, how much money have you spent on it out of your pocket? What do you think their answer?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna make it.
Because like if you say $400 a month, be like something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I'm just sharing what I did, right? So do you have to necessarily do this? No. I just knew that on my own, I wasn't gonna talk to 100 people. Door knocking was my favorite, but it's a very low conversion. It takes a lot of time. It's a 30% door open rate. Think about how long it would take me to go to 10 houses and talk to 3 people, right? It just wasn't the most efficient way to get in the contacts. Does that make sense? But you can do that. You can put on your lace up them Nikes and you can, hit the streets for 8 hours and
Every time
knock
I
out
do it,
some
I get
people.
like 3 doors. Because you meet that person that they want to talk about their shrubs and they just got this done in the driveway. You're like
Yeah,
there
I
almost
love
an
those
hour.
people.
They have no interest in buying us.
Well, occasionally you get those. I mean, I've shot basketball. I've gone inside and had dinner with a family. I've seriously, I've just probably not the smartest things, but I love door knocking.
Yeah, but hopefully you can get those people into your database. You create a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, if they're talking to you, that's a win.
At least get the email and you got the address.
Yeah. I'm so glad you care so much about the neighborhood. Sometimes neighbors don't care about their neighborhood. Hey, I've created a website specifically for this neighborhood. Why don't I send you info once a month so you can see how much equity you're getting? And that's your neighborhood nurture smart plan.
I was trying to think about is during the hurricane, I met so many people helping them. And I thought to myself, how could I do this? There's not a hurricane. Because you had that,
Yeah.
You could just walk up to people and say, do you need help? And they needed your help. So they're welcoming.
You know the only difference? your mindset around what you do every day?
I was one.
If you believed that you were helping people because they're human beings and they need a roof over their head, you might talk to more people. Just like when a hurricane came and they were human beings that needed your help. It's how we choose to look at things that determines our actions, not the situation.
One thing is not giving important information. How you give an email, how you get them in your database, and you don't come off like, just trying to sell, you know.
But you're not trying to sell them, that's something you're telling yourself. If you have value to offer them, if you have, if you have value to offer them, then you just ask. Plus two, asking somebody for information. Did anybody come out of the womb asking for someone's information? So it feels comfortable. You gotta practice it. You gotta practice it first. Well,
Okay,
takes a lot of time. Yeah, but it's one of our jobs. We make time for what's important, right? Yeah. So, circle prospecting. Calling them, using so I discovered I hate cold calling people. Anyone else? But I can invite 1 million people to a party. So when you instead look at your open house as an event and you're inviting the neighbors to the event, turns out I could call those people and I could talk to them. And it turns out that if people got snarky with me and yelled at me, I'd go, oh, thank God you're not coming. Like, seriously, that's the attitude you need to have. Right? Because if people yell at you on the phone, it's about them, not you. They're having a bad day. You could ask them, are you okay? Right? And then move on.
I want to understand what you just presented.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
You have an open house that you want to host.
Uh-huh.
You found some people in the area, like you would door knocking 10 houses. You called some of those neighbors and you invited them to the open house.
Mm-hmm.
And you're
So with
saying
the
one of them
programs-
might have even gotten upset with that call.
Sure. Sure.
I mean, I get it, but but as far as cold calling, that's a very legitimate phone call, I believe.
Yeah, I believed it too.
Yeah.
That's why I was glad they weren't coming. Yeah.
Step party, and I don't know if you talked about this yet. Are you gonna talk about what the party?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've written down the scripts, right? And I use basically the same script for prospecting, circle prospecting, door knocking, all of that. And I just said, hey, I'm here on behalf of your neighbors, the Johnsons at 123 Street. It doesn't matter if it's your listing or not. You can look up the people's names, last names. I'm calling on behalf of the Johnsons at 123 Main Street. I'm holding their home open. I don't know if you know that your neighbors are leaving, but they are moving. And so I'm calling to invite you to be a nosy neighbor. Like, go ahead and call them a nosy neighbor. Or I'm calling to see who you might know that you like enough to want to live near. And most people would go, ha, 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 I don't like people. I'd go, ha, 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 me either. But you gotta play along with them, right? And then I go, so can I count on you to stop by? Guess what they'd say? No. And I go, great. Can you think of anybody you like that you want to live next to? No. All right, awesome. Well, if you get the idea, hey, I'm going to be out and about knocking on doors. So if I do, make sure you say hi. Like, it's not this magic pill of a conversation. But that was how I went about it. I had to be very casual about it because I could not call and go, hi, I'm Erica Lindsey with Keller Williams Realty, and I'm holding an open house this week. And if somebody called me like that on the phone, I'd be like, are you okay? Are you okay? So you've got to embrace your personality and just own it. That's it. Right? So these 3 scripts, they're actually different, believe it or not. The middle one is, the first one's a buyer, prospecting for buyers. The second one is prospecting for sellers. The third one is prospecting for sellers as well too. So the first one's, hey, I'm Erica with Keller Williams Realty. I'm here on behalf of your neighbors at 123 Main Street. I'm hosting an open house for them this Saturday from 12 to 2. I typically find that people who live in a neighborhood usually love it. So if you can think of anyone who you'd like to live in your neighborhood, feel free to take a pic or send to them. Or I can reach out and give them a call to invite them. Can you think of anyone right now who I should invite? No. Awesome. Thanks for taking a moment to think about it. The second one is the same beginning, but then I say, I'm gathering feedback for open house guests to help get the house sold, because I always had my notepad paper, right? And as I walked to them, anybody who answered the door, it didn't matter who it was. I tried to start off with either a compliment or something like, oh my gosh, I love your roses that are dead, or whatever, right? Oh my God, your dog's so cute, what's its name? And then when I get done, I write that down. Daisy the dog, red ugly roses, whatever, and the address, and I'm writing handwritten notes at the open house. I got their address. You just put my neighbor at 123 Main Street. Thank you so much. It was so great talking to you. I love Daisy. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Put your card in there, send it off. So you're connecting with people, and I've had people call me, guys, from that. Just sending that card to them. And so I'm gathering feedback for open house guests to help get the house sold. So out of curiosity, what do you love about your neighborhood? You're gonna get one of two answers. You're gonna get, well, I love that they do the 4th of July parade and they do the kids this and this. You're gonna write it all down, because guess what? When people come in, I could be like, yeah, so you'll never believe what they do on 4th of July. They hold this great parade, and now I'm becoming the neighborhood expert. The other answer I'm gonna get is, I hate it. And I'm gonna say, oh, I am so sorry to hear that. What don't you like about it? Whatever they say. Oh my goodness, where would you move if you could move? I've got a seller standing in front of me. Okay. The third one is the nosy neighbors only pre-party. So the first part starts off the same. If you can think of anyone who you'd like to live in the neighborhood, feel free to take a pic of this and send it to them. I had little flyers. I'm also hosting a nosy neighbors only party from 12 to 1 before the public one starts. Can I count on you to stop by? And they usually go, oh, nosy neighbors, huh? Do you get a lot of people go to that? Yes, I do. And I have champagne or whatever, right? And I have chocolate covered strawberries or whatever. So anybody that comes in that house from 12 to 1 is a seller. They are a seller, right? I didn't always do a nosy neighbors. But if I felt like it was an active neighborhood, a good neighborhood that I wanted to list in, I did. Questions about that? And that was just how I called people.
You're not gonna eat those chocolate covered strawberries.
I know. So, so a story about that, I cold called this guy to invite him. And he's like, no, I live in Washington, DC. How did you get my number? I was in Jacksonville. And I was like, I paid for a list and your name and number was on this. He's like, I haven't lived there since I was a teenager. 45 minutes later, I discover he's going to be moving back to St. Augustine in a year. He went in my database, followed up with him, sent him a handwritten note. Literally every month I called him, he never answered the phone. Occasionally would open up like the drip I set him up on. And I remember where I was at Sunday Fun Day at Reggae Sunday down at Jack's Beach, having a good old time. And I missed a phone call, and I go in my bag and pull it out and say, hey Erica, it's Jim. Yeah, we're gonna be in town next weekend. Just thought reach out and see if you were available. And I was like, Jim, a year. No contact with me, didn't respond to any of my texts, but had received everything I had done. I remember we sat at that closing table and he looks over and he goes, how did we even meet? And I was like, I dialed your number by accident. And he's like, man, that was good follow-up. So it's not about whether they answer. It's not about if you get the wrong person on the phone. It's about you have a human being and how strong is your follow-up game on that timeline. And something will come from it. Mail invites. So if you want to mail out invitations, you can create these right in command. I think the smallest ones are 65 cents a piece, including postage. And if you order them before 3, I believe they go out the same day or the next day. So if you do that real early on, you could get that done.
When can you get that done the same day?
You can do it in command
Into the direct mail, right?
under the direct mail. There's direct mail. You can send it to specific neighborhoods. Day 3, again, post online, circle prospect, sign goes in the yard. I had generic signs, they were branded, but I had where it had the dry erase on it. So that I could write the day and the time in nice bold dry erase markers based on when I was holding it.
The day of the time of the open house, you're gonna hold
Yes.
5 days later, 4 days
Yeah.
later, okay.
Because
Okay.
who's driving by that whole week leading up to it? Neighbors. Yep. Also, I would probably add in here, make sure that the listing agent puts it in the MLS as open so that it shows up on Zillow, it shows up on people's searches that buyers have. It'll show up that they're holding an open house.
Well, I asked that because I typically only see open house signs on the weekend or when the open house is actually happening rather than,
There's a lot of restrictions here.
Yeah.
oh, I see, okay,
There's
Okay.
some neighborhoods that you're not allowed to do any open house signs, period.
Yeah.
okay, okay. And then
Jacksonville
there's
was like
sign
that too.
size and all that.
Yeah, but we had to get creative, like, we would, I know one agent that parked his truck at the end of the street, got permission from the neighbor, parked it at the end of the street and had an open house sign in it with balloons in the truck. Cause you couldn't put it on the grass.
Okay.
You know, I know agents that have paid their teenagers to stand out and spin signs. Like where there's a will, there's a way to get people there, right? So if there's a lot of restriction, and I am one to ask for forgiveness, not permission, but you don't have to adopt that, fine. All right, day 4, post online, circle prospect, reverse prospect. How many of you reverse prospect in the MLS? Who knows what that means? What does it mean?
I don't know what it means. Maybe I've done it once or twice here, but so it means that, well, when you set up a search in the MLS, there's a checkbox that's automatically checked, actually. That will add the contact to what's called reverse prospect. I always uncheck it because I don't want my clients being called by other agents. So basically.
No, the agents only get your number.
Oh, won't call me. I don't want them to call me.
Oh, okay.
So I'll opt out from it, but basically it'll give you a list of agents who have clients looking for a house that meets the criteria of your specific house, and you can call the agents.
Yep. When you, and this is a different MLS, but when you set up a drip, you leave that box checked. When others they have a listing or they're holding an open house, and let's say it's a 3-2, 1,500 square feet in East Naples. If you set up a buyer or more than one buyers with a 3-2, 50, if the search criteria matches, your name will pop up and that agent could give you a call. So I liked having that list to be able to call agents And I would say, hey, Natasha, it's Erica with Keller Williams. Hey, I know you work with a ton of buyers, so I wanted to let you know about this great open house I'm holding on Saturday. Can you think of any of your customers that you might want to bring by? I would love to do a deal with you. Even if I'd never met Natasha before in my life, you know, I want to have a good reputation with my fellow agents and, and it's a way for you to spread the word.
But that would also make more sense if it was your own listing, not necessarily in the.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm including a lot on this that's both, right? Obviously, if I don't have permission from the listing agent to be reverse prospecting, right, then I wouldn't want to, but you could also ask.
Right, but my point is that if you're holding the open house, and you're not the listing agent, you don't want other agent buyers coming by because you're the one who wants to pick up buyers
Sure.
to sell the house.
Right.
So those buyers are really available to you.
Yeah.
If you're not the listing agent. Yes.
You are correct. So any questions about that? Did you see where I found that? I went under my matrix, reverse prospecting. Can you get in here and play with it? I don't know. I haven't played with this MLS one. Ours, we literally, it was almost like doing a search where you put in the criteria and then it would pop up a list of agents. Invite database tags. So all the people that attend your open houses, are you putting them in command with the tag open house? Are you tagging them with, as you LP mama them through the house, we're gonna go over what LP mama is, but as you talk with them about the house, are you adding all those details and creating tags? If I hold an open house in 34112, and buyers come in and I talk to them and they say, yeah, we're looking in this area, do you tag them with that zip code? Because then next time you hold an open house in that zip code or close to that zip code, you could call them. Hey, JJ, I haven't seen you since the last open house, but hey, I'm holding another great home open in the area where we last met that you were interested in and wanted to see if you were going to be in the area on Saturday. It's 12 to 2. Think you're going to stop by? No. Okay, great. How's that search coming that I set you up with? Anything I need to fix? It's about just reminding them you're in real estate without asking them to buy a house. It's like we've got to have more to talk to them about, more ways to connect than just, are you ready to buy a house? Okay. So inviting database tags, call to all the call signs or sign calls. Again, this is if it's your listing. So anyone who's called, are you putting them in your database and tagging them with that listing address? Because then everybody you've got tagged, you filter, you call them and you invite them. Hey, I know you weren't quite ready to see that house, but hey, I'm holding it open if you're available sometime between 12 and 2 this Saturday. Would love to meet you and learn more about and see if this is the right house for you. And then email call to all internet leads. So if we ran a paid Facebook ad and I gathered some information, I can send out emails and calls to these people that responded on the landing page in the Facebook ad. Okay. So 20 contacts that day. Day 5, again, post online, social media. I don't know why I wrote that there. Invite database tags, prepare market stats and comps. Print and or digital folder. So this is the day where I became the neighborhood expert. Only 8% of homes sell as a result of the open house. 8. They're not going to buy that house when they walk the door. Okay. So when they walk in, they're either going to eliminate the house, eliminate you, or both. Your goal is to let them eliminate the house all day long But once they step into your net, they're yours. They can either buy or die. Those are their options. If you choose to have them as a customer. I want you guys to be that confident in your follow-up game. I want you to be that confident that if somebody walks into your open house and you choose to work with them, that you are going to follow up with them and gamify it if you want until they transact. We have got to stop looking at somebody that doesn't talk to us right away again as a dead lead. It's not, right? 80% of sales, 80% of sales happen after the 5th contact. 80. That doesn't mean you contact them 5 days in a row and then you get a sale. And to be more specific with that stat, 80% of sales happen between the 5th and the 12th contact. Guys, the majority of the people you meet are over here. And that is a win. Because otherwise, somebody else is going to get them along this way, and they're going to put them in their database, and they're going to build a relationship with them, and you aren't going to get them. You're not going to be able to help them. Okay. So I'm going to become that market stat. I'm going to look what new construction is in the area. Within a 20-minute drive, what new construction is in that area? Have I visited that new home community? If not, I'm going to go visit it. I'm going to go meet the site agent. I'm going to go register so that I start receiving info on that property, because that info gives me content. And that relationship with that site agent, moving forward as I get buyers, and they go, you know what, I'm interested in Eagle Glen over there. And I can say, oh, that's JJ over there. Yeah, let me make an appointment with JJ. That sounds a lot better than, let's go over there together. I've never looked at it. Right? And so I'm going to bring some of that info from Robin Egg, whatever community that is, with me. Maybe they're interested in new construction. Hey, have you seen the homes in Robin Egg? I've got some info right here. You looking for a custom? You looking for stock? They walk in my net. They're mine, right? I'm going to have homes that are active, that are bigger, smaller, more expensive, less expensive, pool, no pool. I'm going to find as many different types of homes as I can, because they're going to walk in, you're going to give them the sheet, and they're going to go, oh, we really need that 5th bedroom. They've already eliminated the house. And unless you have something interesting in your net, they're going to eliminate you too. Okay, so I'm going to become this, I'm going to become I'm going to know everything that is sold, or I don't have to know it, memorize it. I need to have it in a folder, in a cart from the MLS. And I need to be able to speak wisely about what's sold, what's the average list price, days on market, general things. And then the actives, I need to have an idea in my head. So when someone goes, well, we really want to be on the water, and I can go, you know what? There are 3 others in this community that are on the water. Let's take a look. And you pull it up right there at the open house. Capture them in the net. Have the value to offer them. Do away with the cookies. Focus on the real value. Okay. In addition, what other value? You could have a lender there. They can co-brand for you. They can pay for your copies. Anyone else cheap like me? I used to do half sheets. The teacher and me, I guess, because we only got a certain number of copies per year. So, you know, it was half sheets, or somebody was paying for my prints. I'd let them put their co-brand, my preferred lender. Day 6, post online, social media, door knock, 25 doors, invite key sphere. So like if I had friends or people that have given me referrals, I'd call them and my standard script was, hi, how you doing? I woke up thinking about you this morning. I've been slammed, but hey, I'm gonna be over in East Naples on Saturday. Are you gonna be like out and about? You wanna stop by and see me? I see your face. And I know you like to look at houses, come be nosy. It's just a touch to my key sphere, reminding them I'm in real estate without just saying, who do you know? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but once they start going, stop asking me, like I knew I had talked to them too much. Right? Invite key sphere and reminder text or call to all. So all the people that you've connected with through the week, now it's reminder that it's go time. And day 7, put out your directionals, complete your door knocking of the homes closest to the open house. And do your social media posts. So why save the ones closest to the home? Hi, it's Erica with KW. I'm holding the Johnson's home open from 12 to 2 today. So I wanted to make sure that you knew because there might be an increase in traffic. I'm gonna do my best to be eagle-eyed and watch that they don't park in your grass, block your driveway. If by any chance they do, please tell me right away and I'll take care of it. So in advance, you know, letting them know there might be an increase of traffic, inviting them to come over. Hey, I bought these cupcakes. There might be some left over, so you can come and grab them. Bring them for the kids. And then send them a handwritten note thanking them for their patience. After the open house is done. And guys, remember, once you go in the open house, you have no control over who comes in. So this is when you're writing all these notes. People that you talked to, door knocked throughout the week, people that you spoke to, the neighbors right there. This is when you're doing that. Don't just sit there and play on their Facebook. When you can get all these things done. Questions about 7-day system? Yeah.
The day 6, reminder, text call to all. For 21 days. Okay, so that's everybody prior who you talk to.
Yeah, it could be more. I'm just making the bar minimum. The more, the better. But your standard should be to talk to 100 people per open house every week.
Hard to get people on the phone, you know, when you're so-called prospecting, like just a lot of people don't answer. So to be able to get those 20 conversations, I find it's really hard.
Could be.
And there's only
You have to increase your number of dials.
There's only a certain number of people in a neighborhood, so then you have to go to another neighborhood to get more numbers.
Yeah, what neighborhoods? Is this a move up neighborhood? Is it a downsized neighborhood? And so what other neighborhoods around there would feed into this one? Could do that. Anything else you guys can think of with that? Yeah.
This is what you have with the owner of the home, as far as their circle of contact is.
Only if I'm the listing agent. Yeah. So a great thing I shared at the team meeting, if you were at the team meeting, was this agent in the Pivot Shift Ahead Facebook group. This agent had the sellers, well, they got the seller's permission. They wrote the letter stating that their home was for sale. And then the agent mailed it out to all the neighbors and everybody, but coming from the seller. And included, and it said in there, please contact my agent if you have any questions. You know, I wanted to send this to you, blah, blah, blah. And it was really, really well received by the neighborhood instead of coming from the agent. So you could include that in the letter. Just have to be, you know, Johnny on the spot. But literally, if you're not blowing up the event, why do it? Why take the time to get ready, buy the cookies, drive, waste the gas, spend the time away from your family, if you're not gonna blow it up as big as you can? And here's the thing, if one person walks in, it's a win. If nobody walks in, you still won the week. And this is why it doesn't matter if anyone shows up. If you've talked to 100 people before you walked in, you've done better than 90% of the real estate agents in this board for the week. That makes sense? I'm also sharing with you the Rutherford group. Do you guys know who the Rutherford group is? You've heard of them? I've heard of them once or twice. So Amber Rutherford is our operating principal. She's the owner of this office. Her husband and her run a very successful real estate team, sell about 80 million each year out of Tampa. And they shared some of their resources with us. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a break, let everybody stretch their legs, get some water, go to the bathroom. We come back, we're gonna go over this. We're gonna go into all the tech, and then we're gonna talk about what to do during and how to follow up, and then how to also be an agent that listing agents contact you to hold their houses open. Okay, so go take a break, stretch your legs. We are now going to create a landing page. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go into site and app settings. So I'm in the consumer applet on command, and I'm in site and app settings. There's tons of things we can do in here, yet we're only gonna focus on one. Did you guys know that you can control how many properties visitors to your site can view before being prompted to register or sign in? So you can do unrestricted. You can limit it to 10 to 2 or no properties for you before they register. Okay, I'm a little bit more lenient. I'm going to give you 10. I'm going to really get you excited about being on my site before I ask you to register, but you do you. Okay.
How did you get to there? Sorry, I understand.
We are in consumer, and then you click on site and app settings along the top. And then you click save changes at the bottom. Okay. Now, what's a landing page?
The first page you get to, it's supposed to grab your attention, right?
Yeah, so I create a landing page if I run this Facebook ad. Okay, I could run a landing page for when I hold an open house, capture their info when they come in. You have the ability to create these and make them look however you want them to look. So we're going to do one for an open house. So I'm on consumer, and I'm going to click up here at create new page. Now you can make this is how you customize your website. You guys have a standard website, you can customize it. So you can create it on your agent site, but we're going to do it as a landing page, and it says create a landing page for lead gen. Okay, and we're going to click create page. And now we put in whatever widgets we want. I never thought I'd be teaching a class where I use the word widgets, but here we are. Okay, so I'm going to put in, and you can do anything you want here. Okay, so I'm going to put in, let's put in my agent branding. Boom. Next, let's put in the listing info after it. Okay. Now, let's put the lead form. Okay. Now I could be real basic for the open house and I could just put the lead form. And then at the bottom, let's put our legal footer. Okay. I just built a page, a web page. You just built a website. How cool is that? Okay, now I go over here to configure widgets. Configure widgets. And I'm gonna add a listing, right? Because didn't we add the listing widget? I don't want it to say anything about Austin, Texas. All right, so we're gonna search by property address. We're gonna put in the address. Did I write it? Here, 6648. I got permission from our agent. 6648 Alden Woods. And right here, we're gonna go to this one that says Steve Voronkov, KW. Did you know that command ties to the MLS? Okay. I'm gonna click select. Is everybody with me?
Yeah.
Where do you search the property at?
Can you go back like after you did the widget? Please.
Create new page as a landing page. I didn't know I just erased the whole thing. Page of branding, listing, lead form.
The Steve Veronica one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna click configure widgets. And I'm gonna click listing. You with me now?
Yeah.
See, all three of the widgets that I put in, I can configure, I can mess with each of them. So I just clicked listing. And now I'm gonna do Alden. 6648 Alden Woods. It's this pretty one. I'm gonna click select, and when I click select, so I can use the header image, I can use the let me scroll up here. No. Which picture do I want? Well, I want the front picture. Okay. Save and apply. Boom. Okay. Now I can go to another widget if I want, and I can change this up here if I wanted to. I can upload my team logo if I want, save and apply. And then if I want to edit the lead form, I can put in here, sign up for info on Alden Woods.
Eric,
Save and apply.
Can you, like, if you wanted to take the price off of the listing, you probably can. It's tied to you.
Not here, I mean, on social media, you can omit the price, on flyers, you can omit the price, but on, if you put the listing in this landing page, it's gonna input that. And plus, they're in the house anyway, that makes sense. Okay, now I can click Save landing page. All right, and I've got it in here. Somewhere. Landing pages. Draft. Okay. I go into and I click publish. I can rename it like Alden Woods Open House. Now, when I'm at the open house, I can just have my laptop open. I can turn it on and off. Okay. Now here's the great thing is I can tie a landing page to a Facebook ad. Anyone who fills out this landing page, their info goes directly into your contacts and they are marked as a lead. Okay. Let's go to designs. Please text John McLeod. He is the one that gave it to me and I'm finishing my class period, so sorry. All right, let's go to create design. Social. Okay, don't touch anything. Come over here to under auto create and go to open house. Under auto create, open house.
Hold on. How did you get there?
Under designs. Create design, social.
Social.
Now I'm gonna come over here to the red. What'd you say? Oh no. Come over here to the red auto create button. Red auto create button. Click it. Search by listing 6648. Alden Woods. We're gonna ignore the ones with the cute little placeholder. We're gonna select this one because it's active. So click select. Everybody with me? And click continue. Now we put in when the open house is. June 3rd, 2023. And the hours 12 to 3. Yeah. Oh, 13 to 3. No, ma'am. 12 to 3 p.m. You can put in whatever time you want. Just practice. Now click continue. It's got all the info. Look at that. It automatically imports all the info. But it puts your phone number. And you get to pick the pictures you want.
That's nuts.
So I'm gonna pick this one because this one's amazing. I'm gonna pick the kitchen because everyone wants to see the kitchen. And then I think, of course, we have to pick the front of the house. Those are mine. Now you can add home details if you want. Here's something you can't do. You cannot change what the listing agent wrote in the MLS. If you were gonna write anything about the house, you have to put exactly what the listing agent put. You're not out there creating your own MLS detail info, okay? But continue. Use whatever old picture you have of yourself in there. Make sure your stuff's correct. Okay. For some reason, did anybody else say they had too many letters here in their app? Take off the KW in the front. I don't know why. And then Deborah, I want you to say abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
All right. There are your graphics. Now, I would go back and edit because these say DBA. I didn't see a spot to put my logo in. I go into edit. Do you guys all have your logo in your templates? All you have to do is upload it once and it will be there forever. You can search as well. There's Naples. I'm gonna replace this one. It is annoying to get 29 and old. Okay, here we go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click PA. No, I'm not. There it is. Delete it. And I'm gonna pop this puppy in there. No, I'm not. Pop this puppy in here. Must always have your brokerage logo on any marketing you do. Okay. Click done. So it literally created all of those for me.
When you say the brokerage logo, do you mean? Keller
KW
Williams?
Naples.
Erica, where are the brokerage logos at?
They're in a couple of spaces.
Did not work.
Are you using Chrome? Command works best in Chrome. And so here you've got your content or printout. You really, really like using ink. All right, and then we're gonna do, oh, you wanted to know. So, side note. You go to mykw.kw.com. And you go to marketing along the top. And you go to logos and branding. So my KW marketing, logos and branding. Type in your market center number here. What's your market center number? Preview download. All right, you guys want to run an ad? Run an ad? Okay, yes, let's run an ad.
Or are you using Chrome mostly to use,
Only Chrome. I only use Chrome with command. Yeah.
Don't hack stuff at all.
Is it working for you?
But,
Oh.
that's what I use at home.
Yeah. Chris, you don't have any trouble anymore.
Well, once I switched to Chrome,
So when you,
Safari
You can
was
download
not
Chrome
good.
for free.
when you click on generate design, because when it's in with all 5 things, mine just comes up with my company single page.
It says coming soon.
Well, it comes up with designs with all the coming soon, my coming soon flyers. So coming up with the design.
Because.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so.
Your auto create.
Oh, is that what I'm doing? Okay.
All right, let's go to campaigns. Campaigns.
Campaigns.
Let's go to paid ads. Paid ads. Now you do have to have your business page attached to be able to run. Okay. So I'm going to go up here to create campaign, create campaign.
Erica, would there be any reason why KW page would fit with anybody else's? Like you just said, go up and click on create campaign. I don't have that.
Is it too big?
I don't, because it should be the side. I have an add button. I didn't know if it was just mine wasn't updated or.
I have no idea. That to me seems like an update thing.
Yeah, see, I just made it smaller and, yeah, it didn't do it. Okay. And I don't know how to update, so I'll just come in, KW support to see if there's an update that
I would email Scott Leroy. All right, once you click create campaign, I'm gonna click social ad paid. And I'm gonna do it to advertise a listing for my open house. And I can choose Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter for all 3. And the cool thing about command is if you gain traction on one more than the other, it will put more money towards that one and take less from the others. Create campaign. And I'm gonna say all the. I don't do the Twitter because I don't have a Twitter. I don't tweet. Alden was
Either, but I have.
open house. Create campaign.
I have to connect myself.
So we're doing a social ad page,
We're
correct?
doing a paid social media ad,
And then what is your goal?
advertise a listing.
Advertise listing, and then you click Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
It's way off. 6648 Alden Woods. Now you have to make sure, oh no, nothing's showing up. Why isn't it showing up? Because I have it selected to only my listings. You have to go to all listings. There it is. Make sure it's the right one. I almost did that once, ran an ad on the wrong listing. Don't want to do that. All right. Look at that. It just pulls in all the text right from the MLS. You want to come up with a catchy headline? Who's got a catchy headline? If you tell me won't last long, I'm gonna hop over this table and that's a kiss of death. Anytime you say won't last long, it sits.
You could be coming home to this.
That's right.
Wow. Try this.
Well, thank you.
Right. No, I don't know what I just did. I don't know what that
I can't get into it, so.
is.
let's-
You could be coming home to this.
That's catchy.
This could be,
You should try this.
looking for a new home?
Oh, you could be coming home. That's it.
Hey,
You got 5 words.
I like how it.
This
it
could
does
be
stop.
yours.
Definitely like how it limits you.
Could be yours. All right. Oh, you just literally said what it was down here.
yeah. I was like, she'll catch on at some point. Just keep reading.
Look, you could shuffle it. Schedule a private tour, see photos and videos. You could be coming up to this.
Oh, I didn't know about the shuffle thing.
Yeah, you could shuffle them.
Try this.
Don't be a square and meet me there. There.
Are you using emoji?
Saturday, emojis are hot. 12 to 3 p.m. Nosy neighbors. I'm just literally writing anything. I probably would not put this out on the interwebs. Nosy neighbors, 11 to 12. Although you could do a targeted ad for just that neighborhood on the Facebook for the nosy neighbors. All right. You got the nice little preview over here. All right, I'm going to save that, move to the next one. Media, Facebook and Instagram settings. You could do it as a story or in your feed. You can use a Facebook lead gen form or a landing page. So when people click on the ad, it will either go to a Facebook lead gen form. I've heard that that works just fine. So if you don't want to create a landing page, just use the Facebook one.
So it's an auto, so they have to sign in before looking at, is that what that is?
So when they go to that and click to it, it goes great. Fill out, you have it say, great, fill out this for more info. Then they fill it out and it shows them, it goes to the listing. So if I want to do my own landing page, I just go in here, right? So what do I want the button to say? I don't want to say apply now, learn more. Okay. If I created the landing page like we already did, right? And what did I do? Alden Woods open house. If I click that, boom. That's the site this ad's going to go to. Is that what landing page we created? Is this cool?
Yeah, it's neat.
Is this easy? Chris, how technologically challenged am I?
You're pretty awesome. I mean, I think you're pretty good at this stuff.
Okay.
You're humble.
He's,
You're humble.
I'm horrible. Yet, if I can figure this out, y'all can do this,
Yeah.
okay? Now you can do an auto audience. You can do a custom audience. Guys, you can send this ad just to your database that's on Facebook.
Wow.
If they're not in your database, you can't do that.
You mean if you copy and post?
If you
to
click-
Facebook?
No, if you click this, okay, about targeted custom list, you are able to target based on tag, neighborhood associated, or both.
So it has to, you have to tag them for the neighborhood and tag Facebook.
custom list to Facebook. You are able to target based on tag. So if I do like open house
Yeah.
tag,
Yeah, that should play your list.
oh, that's cool. So I can create a new audience. Oh, here we go. Oh, look at that. Alden,
Yeah.
Alden Woods, right? And then include the tag open house. Create, so everyone that I've tagged as open house in my database will see this ad.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's cool, right?
Yeah.
That is cool. Like too excited about it.
Can we just go over that again, please?
Which part?
Which the part that really you got excited about, where you.
I'm just I'm getting more and more excited as this goes on.
Database and custom audience?
Yeah, custom audience brings this up. Then I picked target my no, you undo custom audience. I do target my database. And then, I clicked create new audience. I named it Alden Woods.
Right. Let's not Talk about database.
Oh,
Again. Okay, create new audience.
someone give me a neighborhood here in Pelican Bay.
Okay.
Edit text to include.
Nice.
You can target, yeah. I mean,
You can target a neighborhood. Look, right here.
That's-
Okay.
I did not know that.
How cool is that?
Now I just have to get the station there.
Oh.
Great.
Or you can just do an auto audience, but that's boring now that I can see that I can do all this stuff. All right, cool. All right, lead settings. Oh, you can auto tag them. So I can auto tag them when the leads come in, Alden Woods or open house, right? So again, I don't have to do it on the back end. I can do it as they come into my database. They made this, y'all have it. And you can assign them automatically to a smart plan. The minute they come in, you can have them on a smart plan. Amazing. And then your budget. 7 days, so if I'm holding it. So it does take 24 hours to start the ad to get it approved. So you don't want to run an ad like 2 days before your open house.
So just to go back to the database, it's gonna find these people in your Facebook or your Instagram. That you have tagged.
That match up.
The database. Okay, and then you can do a custom audience in addition to targeting the database, it appears, right? Or no?
Well, that is a custom audience.
Well, that's your, custom is data target database, and then there's another option for custom audience, that you can specify a location within a radius of a certain location.
Yeah, I don't think I was able to uncheck that one.
So that's where you can specify.
So I did custom audience, see, I can't, oh, I can't, yeah. So I can just target my database, or I can
Or
do
you
a
could
custom.
both Do
Yeah.
a radius around that
Yeah.
address probably.
Yeah.
Of the house.
So, and this is your budget. You know, in dollars, tells you what the total is, and then you can either have it distribute evenly across the channels, or you can have it use its algorithm to determine where your money is spent best. So I recommend that one. No one push go, okay?
Appreciate it.
So look over here, this is new, audience definition, gauge how many people you will reach based on your Facebook and Instagram selections. Potential reach of 271,000 people.
Wow. You're the. You must have put red.
In an ad like that, you would actually go out.
Open house.
Right, so if you're not actually using this, you're only the people you know on Facebook or whatever at that point.
It will target them, but not solely them.
Yeah. So you and I work right on Facebook, but you post it and I'm in the area. Post it on Facebook.
Correct.
That's awesome.
Correct. So I want to make sure that this is all filled. What? Okay. And then I can click publish and it's going to take 24 hours for it to get approved. Was that easy? The technology we have at our disposal. Are you sure you want to leave this page? Yes. And then as you log in, it shows you how many leads you got, how much you've spent, how many impressions, all that good stuff. And if you're watching it and you're like, what do all these things mean? Just hover. Just hover here and it tells you what that means. So CPM, what does that mean? Cost per 1,000 impressions, how it's used, how it's calculated. So you can get all into the analytics and be all geeky if you want. None of this means anything to me.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So there was the option of using our landing page that we created.
Yes.
Using whatever the other thing was.
Yeah, the
What's-
Facebook.
What's the Facebook thing?
It's just a general, it's similar to a lead form.
Okay,
you'll-
Facebook equal, but is it better to use our landing page?
I don't think one's necessarily better than the other. I like the fact that if I use a landing page, like it can tag them and put them on a smart plan, like right away.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Where did you do that, the tag and, the tagging and the smart plan thing? Where was that?
What one was that? I already closed it out.
Facebook. In the I think it's in the media section.
It was in that campaign right before you were paid for it. What's that?
Lead settings, maybe?
The draft.
Lead settings.
Lead
Okay.
setting?
Yeah, lead setting. All right, best practice for listing agent, smart plans, buy or die. TRG resources, LP Mama. So let's talk about during the open house, when you've got people coming in. Okay, let's talk about best practices with sign in. So a lot of agents like to say things like, hi, and this isn't wrong. They like to say, hey, just if you wouldn't mind signing in for me, I'm gonna grab you your stuff. So when I did that, I was very nonchalant about it. If you stand there or like sign in and you get all intense, it tends to make people be like, or if you're unconfident and you're like, can I get you to sign in? Then people go, wait, why aren't they confident? Do people not sign in? Is that an option? I don't want to sign in. And that all happens just in like the blink of an eye, right? So, if you're going to ask up front, you need to be real nonchalant about it. Okay, and I used to have the sign-in sheet. Now, some agents use one sign-in sheet per person. Some people get weird about putting their information with 10 other people on the page. So 1 page per person, right? I'll tell you what I did. I don't know if it works anymore, but it worked for me really, really well. I created a sheet. I told you I did a lot of open houses, so I had a lot of time on my hands once I got there, right? And I would notice that I had columns and I'd put name, phone number, email. I put move date, question mark, and then I put, do you have an agent? what I learned was whoever the first person to come in was, they'd maybe put their name, they'd skip phone number, they'd put their email, they'd fill this out, and then they'd go, they'd check it. And then everybody comes in and guess what they do? Check it. And then I read an article somewhere that it was harder for people to lie when they had to write out the lie. I don't know if that's a fact or not, but it got me thinking. What if I made them, they were gonna lie to me, they had to commit it in writing, right? So I created a sheet that said name, phone number, email, move date. And then this one I changed to agent name, question mark. And then I went through and I made a fictitious one. And when I got here, I wrote need one. People are sheep, and guess what they did?
Oh, wow.
Need one. I swear. Just because other people did it. Not everybody did that. Some people you know, you'd have someone skip it. You'd have someone put an actual agent name in there. But I got more need ones than I did before. Okay. That worked for me.
The fictitious one helps.
The fictitious
I
one
picked
does
the
help.
family member name and I throw
Yep.
everything in there, and it does because somebody signed it.
Yep. Now, if that doesn't work, and it doesn't always work, we need to change the way we look at things, and things we look at change, right? Why are people hesitant to give out their private info? No, it's not that they don't like you.
Too many unwanted phone calls, too many unwanted emails.
But you know what that equals? Another way to say that, no value. You've nothing to offer me. So what if when they came through my open house, instead of asking them for their info, give me what I want right away, when they don't know if they're gonna get value, what if instead you engaged in a conversation with them, learned more, talked to them about what they're looking for, showed them others that were available, offered to show them the property because you ended the open house at 4, we could meet there at 4:15. And by the way, once I confirm with the agent, what's the best phone number to confirm with you at? Wouldn't that be a much better way to get their info? What if we just switched it to asking at the end? And I'm not saying it would work 100% of the time, but if what we're doing doesn't work, we need to try something else. And one thing I knew, when they walk in, if I wanted them, they were gonna buy or die. And I was gonna have knowledge on the neighborhood. I was gonna be able to have the conversation to ask them questions and learn more about them. And then at the end, I was gonna offer to show them, I've had other properties to show them. And I was willing, hey, I get out of here at 4. Why don't we meet over there at 4:15? I need to set appointments at the open house. Chris, you can speak to this. Deborah, you can speak to this. Something happens. Trish, you can speak. You wait till Monday, the magic's gone. The magic is gone. You have this great conversation with them. You're like, that is a solid lead. Monday morning, crickets. Life has come back into play. They go to work, they're back in their routine. And because more than likely they work over here, it's not urgent for them to answer your call. But it doesn't mean you stop calling. It means you continue to call because at some point you're going to get them in the right spot. So get them in the moment. Yeah.
I have a question, just because I'm newer back to PKW.
Yeah.
Chris, do you use the Chairman app?
I
at the open
have,
houses?
I have, not as much as I probably should. But definitely, I send a lot of links through my site.
You said.
From the gate, definitely, so it goes to the one way or another, yeah.
What
I mean,
kind of links do you send?
Just for listings, yeah,
For the actual listing or
because it links, I just take the link from my personal KW site.
the listing you had to go to.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's really cool. But another thing that's really great, I don't know if you guys know, but once you enter the contact, you can enter the contact straight into, KW command. And then there's a little button you can click to share the app there, and it'll send it straight to that person.
Okay.
You could also create a QR code and not have paper and say, click the QR code. It's got the landing page. They have to fill it out and then it sends them the info. You know, it's like, or it goes to a landing page with the info on the app. There's lots of ways to collect information. The least effective is, I'm going to offer you no value. Give me all your personal information. Least effective, right? And so many agents use the seller is requesting that we collect, that they know that half the time you're full of, you know what? Okay. So find other ways of value. And at the end of the line, if I'm going to have them conversation, I'm going to show them value. I'm going to show them, hey, let's look at these other properties. I've got something that actually matches what I think what you're looking for. And they still are like, no. Let them go. It's okay. There'll be more. You already talked to 100 people before you got to it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be just fine, right?
So are you just sharing the listing through your app versus having any paper printouts? Is that what you do, or do you still have paper?
Just for getting leads and
No, the paper printouts of the listing, you know. I mean,
I still have that, yeah.
you still have that, and so when would you share it through your app?
It's mostly when I'm posting about it on social media.
Oh, I
That's
see.
when I share the link through
Okay.
my page, because that still routes it back, but the app is it's pretty awesome. I definitely have people use it. You can track it too. I think it just sends you
Yeah.
when they're viewing, what they're doing. It's
No,
pretty
you
loud.
can see it, this right here. When you go in your contacts and you've got this here, this section recently active,
That's awesome.
this is tied to their, the app and the neighborhood nurture. When they click on those things, you see it when they clicked on it.
I check it literally every day.
Hmm?
Because it is crazy how many people don't respond to any of my messages,
But they check.
but they check religiously
Yeah.
every month. It's
Yeah.
insane.
So what's another thing that people say when they come in and you ask them, how you doing? How'd you find out about us today? Oh, no, I'm just looking, right? Okay. And so what do agents normally do when somebody says that?
Cool.
Okay, right. Let me know if you need anything. Like literally, I have nothing else to offer except to sell you a house. No, you are consultants. It's not about the right now. It's about the relationship. So what if instead of just going, oh, okay, great, well, take a look around and let me know what you think, because, oh, I have no interest in you now. That's salesy, by the way. What if instead, when they say, oh, no, I'm just looking, you're in the homework stage? That's awesome. You know, 90% of my buyers start working with me 12 to 18 months before they actually buy a house. So let me ask you, whenever you're ready, what location are you looking to buy? Is this the location? Let the people be where they are in the process. And you will watch their guard go. You've acknowledged they're in the homework stage. They do not want you to hound them and buy a house. Let them be where they are.
Especially because there's so many people, especially in season, that are just down renting
Yes.
for a month and they don't know anything. They may not know
Yes.
nothing about this area.
Yeah.
Do you know the area? You're familiar with it? That's one thing that I always ask. Are you down visiting? How familiar are you with the area? And I give them the Collier County map
Yep.
from neighborhood.
Yep.
Collier County is much bigger than you would think. Here's a map
Yeah.
for you. Take a look at it whenever you like. And it's just, you kind of let them, like, yeah, you know what? We've been here once.
And now you have this conversation with them. Location, carry it around on a clipboard until you memorize it. Those on script practice with me every shameless plug. Every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 to 8:30 via Zoom. If you're not there, you're square. Tell them, Sherry.
Yeah, if you guys
Okay.
are square.
Tell them, Adam. We've memorized this. This is a conversation. This is the only buyer conversation you need to memorize. You're at the gas station, someone says, I think about buying a house. There you go. This is the conversation. Open house, this is the conversation. Somebody calls your sign on your listing. This is Anyone that's a buyer, these are the questions. This is the conversation to have. And so if it's somebody in the homework stage, which 90% of them are. Great, so when you are ready, what's the location you're looking to be? What is it about that location that appeals to you? What price range are you looking at? Okay, great. How'd you arrive at that price? Wonderful. I'm not gonna harp on the cash with the lender. They've already told me they're not ready. Don't shove it down their throat, right? So what's prompting this home search next year? You're letting them be where they are. And instead of saying, well, based on what you told me, I think we should meet at this point, we're going to do a deep market overview, go over in-depth needs analysis and make a game plan. You're going to say, well, at this time, my job is just to follow up and be a resource for you here in Naples. Any questions you have, any neighborhood you have, and I'm going to start sending you some homes. And then when you're ready, we'll make a game plan from there. So what's the best email address to start sending that info to? Right? That's that conversation. Questions about LP Mama? Getting people there, I think we addressed that. Right?
Yeah.
Ads, calls, you just massively put it out to the universe with no tie to the outcome. We are not slot machines. You are not going to hit a jackpot with every conversation you have. Do not be attached to the outcome. It's the process. The win is in the 100 contacts a week. The win is if you add one person to your database during that week. Stop looking at the coup de grace, the end all of be all little percentage as the only win. That's not the only win. Converting, I think that has a lot to do with the questions. Setting the appointment for that day is going to help convert a lot. And then, so let's play that tape forward a little bit. Let's say you meet them at this property at 4:15 because your open house ended at 4. It's probably not going to be the right one either. Okay. And so you're going to go, well, I'm so sorry this one didn't work out either. Hey, this is what we do. Part of the value of working with me is that I save my customers time, and your time is really valuable. So let's go ahead and set up a time where we can go over I do this in-depth needs analysis. So really help make sure that we're only looking at homes that you want to see and you want to buy. And we'll go over what's going on in the market, your specific situation, and we'll make a game plan from there. So what works best for you, mornings, afternoons, or evenings? Well, I've got to talk to my husband. That's okay. We'll just pencil it in. I'm going to call you anyway to confirm. If we need to change it, we need to change it. But if you know his work schedule, which do you think would work best? Mornings, afternoons, or evenings? Ladies, we know you use your spouse as an excuse to get out of making commitments, and men do the same. Right? So as long as you know what, and again, if they continue to push back, that's okay. It sounds like at this point, my job is to just keep in touch so that when you are ready, my job is to match your speed, your pace. It's about you, not me. So I'll just keep in touch, reach out every once in a while. When you're ready, I would love to interview for the position. And then you put them in your database. And you wear your hat, your follow-up hat. I want you guys to designate yourselves the king, queen of follow-up. Because that is where you will make a lot of money. Not with the slot machine mentality, and you're going to burn yourself out. If every conversation you expect to lead to a listing, you are going to cry a lot. Like a lot. Okay. Question time. Question, comment that I didn't answer.
Does anyone use,
Space.
does anyone use, an open house online? So like an open house sign-in sheet that's on the computer?
I don't know. Do you guys use those? You could use the landing page, but I don't know about those apps. I don't know how
Yeah.
Great, they are, I can't speak to them. I'm the person that will show up and the Wi-Fi will like crash through the,
Well, right, that's why I don't.
and I don't
stick
trust
to it.
myself with
Right,
it.
yeah, exactly.
I've had a terrible time with the sign. I've had like misinformation, lies,
That's normal.
Yeah. Don't be attached to the outcome. People have just learned to look at us as salespeople because we don't offer value. So offer value and expect nothing in return.
Yeah.
That's the mindset to have. If somebody doesn't want to give you their personal information, just let them be.
I'll say too, the people that I've met historically that are the most sincere want to give you their information.
There you go.
Because they're like, we
There you go.
want your help.
Yep.
And the ones that I keep chasing, I'm like, this is such a waste of time, because I'm like, I'm chasing someone that doesn't want to be chased. Why am I chasing them?
I agree, and I try to, for those that you just know they're not giving you their information, or you happen to look at the sign-in sheet and go, I can't read that. I just make sure that I either hand them my card or my open house page or my flyer has all my information on it. I make sure that they pop
Yep.
out with something that has my information on it. You never know. They may.
Yeah, you never know.
2
They
years.
could have had a bad day or whatever. They could have had a bad experience, but if you come from contribution and just have great conversation with you, never know.
Question. So, okay, so, I'm so new at this. The only open house I've been to is the one when I bought my house.
Okay.
So,
Don't lead with that when you're talking to people.
no, I'm not.
Yes, there's no judgment in this room. Just don't tell that to anybody else.
No, but how can I shadow others? How can?
So you can post in our private Facebook group. You can talk to an agent that's in the office. You've got the mentor packet. Look on the mentor packet, find somebody that you were interested in knowing better. And I can reach out to them and see if they're taking mentees.
I didn't know if I was seeing her.
Anybody else not receive it? Mike,
I didn't either.
the mentor packet?
So
What other questions?
I don't have a coach.
Huh?
And how do you combine that, like? a
You
coach-
do have a coach. She's on the calls every morning at 8 a.m.
Savage.
And I do coaching every Thursday at 5:30.
Okay.
Yeah, you do have a coach.
Okay.
I was a productivity coach for 2 offices for 5 years.
What's
I
the
got you,
5:30?
girl.
What's the 5:30, 4:30?
Typically for around dual career,
Oh,
dual career. The 8 a.m. to 8:30 are more my full-time needs. Like starting tomorrow, we're diving into the mega agent models. April, we did all buyers the whole month, everything, start to finish. May, we just finished up all sellers and they wrote out their pre-listing packets and their listing presentations and all that good stuff.
That's on the nighttime one or the daytime?
The morning one,
Morning.
8 to 8:30.
Is it
And
not
then
scripting?
June,
Is it not scripting?
it's called script practice. But we don't just sit there and script practice.
It's
It's
really good.
learning.
You guys, if you're not getting on,
Learning.
you're missing out on a lot. I've learned a lot.
I'll give you your 20
Oh,
bucks.
I'm gonna get people to hire your time, so I can.
Good.
Oh, I could have.
Yeah. June's gonna be all lead gen. Diving into different models.
Getting can read on that.
Yeah. And it's come as you are, like, if you're in your jammies, be in your jammies.
Otherwise, I can't pay attention. I'm driving, my daughter's chitter chattering in my ear. I'm trying to fix her hair, make sure I've got all her stuff in her backpack and make sure my son is.
Yeah.
Taking his 88, I mean, I'm like a.
So
a maniac in the morning, you know,
you've got those resources, you've got the mentor packet, you have plenty of support.
Okay, just that, I put my job. I just recently, so now I have all this time to invest in my education. So. There you go. So you said 8:30 and 5:30 on?
8 to 8:30,
8 to 8:30 on every
5:30
day.
to 6. Yep.
And 5:30 to 6 on Thursday.
Yeah, links are on the calendar. They're all, they're all, and Ignite, yeah, yeah, Ignite starts June 5th.
Tomorrow.
June 5th.
Oh, on the calendar for June 1st.
Good stuff.
And that's not recorded, is it, Erica?
Okay, now it is.
Erica, is it recorded, the 8 to 8:30 in the morning?
I only give it to those who come.